We are going to talk about the current president of Southern Sudan, Salva Mayadit. He was born in 1951 at a place called Akon in the Southern Sudan. By then, Sudan was one country. He is a Dinka by tribe. In the 60s, during the first of the two civil wars, which were called Anyanya, he joined that and fought along the southern Sudans. When the first of the two Anyanya wars, that was between 1955 and 72. When it ended in 1972, he joined those are the people who were absorbed into the Sudanese army. And he rose to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. He was in the military together with Colonel John Garang, Dimabior. They continued serving the Sudanese army until 1983, when they left to start SPLM, Sudanese People's Liberation Army and Sudanese People Liberation Movement. Note that it is Sudanese People's Liberation Army and Sudanese People Liberation Movement. Not South Sudan. The intention was to liberate the whole Sudan. At no time from the beginning did they want to form another government. They were compelled by circumstances by the northern Arabs, who, every time there was an agreement of a united Sudan where tribe, race, or religion could not count, they were being let down. So they started the SPLM in 1983. The SPLA and SPLM were headed by Colonel John Garang Dimabior. But Salva Mayadit was given various portfolios. He was very good in everything that he touched. There was a time he headed domestic affairs, which in Kenya we call it provincial administration. There are occasions when he headed foreign affairs, the domestic affairs, that is what we call provincial administration, foreign affairs, and there are even times he led the intelligence. In every portfolio that he was assigned, he did it very well. There were times when there was split within SPLA, and Kenyans, we know that there is somebody here who was very ambitious, who was ready to even sit betray the Southern for his personal grandization. So whenever SPLA would split into two, and there was the internal negotiations, usually he's the one who used to lead the negotiations. You know, Rick Machar, at any given opportunity, he would rush and betray the others. So in the year 2005, there was a comprehensive peace agreement, CPA, at Nyayo National Stadium, whereby I think that was the last one, whereby the South Sudan was given semi-autonomous. They were made semi-autonomous South Sudan. And John Garang was made the national vice president and the president of the semi-autonomous South Sudan. This one happened, and in July 2005, Salva Kiir, after an accident, when John Garang de Mabior was leaving Uganda for South Sudan, he had an helicopter accident and died. So he was succeeded in July 2005 by Salva Kiir de Mabior. So Salva Kiir de Mabior became the president of the semi-autonomous Southern Sudan and the vice president of the whole of Sudan. But those 5 years, still these people could not change. You know, a leopard can change its color and become a cougar, but it is still a leopard. So, in the 2010 national and regional elections, de Mabior chose to contest only for the regional presidency. He didn't even want to be the national vice president. And he got 93% of all the elections. I don't know whether there is anybody who has gotten that. That is almost like he was getting unopposed. So, but even after winning that, he was still made the national vice president. And then in the 2011, a year later, there was a referendum in the Southern Sudan, and those people saw that there was no need of having one country, the Khartoum and whatever, because they could not keep their word. So in the referendum, that it favored independence, which was gotten on 9th July 2011. The problems he has been facing since he took over, infrastructure, returning of refugees. You know, both countries, Southern Sudan and the actual Sudan, there is always refugees moving. This heckler-steckler. There is also the problem, you know, like Sudan is the only country that has one party that is, that there are two parties. We have SPLM and SPLM-IO, meaning SPLM in opposition. In 2013, there was a civil war between the Nuer and the Dinkas. You know, he's a Dinka, and Riek Machar is a Nuer. He continues up to today being the president of Southern Sudan. Thank you.